Hey guys, Ranger here, and welcome back to another video. And this is a reaction and review to the 11th episode of MLP, which is Molt Down. Okay, I didn't know what the episode was, honestly, until I didn't know the episode title until a few minutes ago whenever I found the video. And immediately my first impression was Molt. Does Twilight begin to lose her, like, feathers on her wings or something? That was honestly my first thought. But checking the video quality and sound and everything, I know it opens with Rarity and Spike, but that's all I know. I have no idea what this episode is about. So let's jump into it and see what hijinks await us. Starting the video in 3, 2, 1, click.
I do appreciate you showing me the way to the Phoenix Nest, Spike.
Anything for you, Rarity. Besides,
dude, you still have a crush on her? She's so out of your league.
He really was an excellent pet. Can't imagine why you set him free.
Oh my! Oh, the Phoenix! Yeah, that little bird! That little bird! Oh my gosh, we haven't seen him in ages.
A few of their feathers will add just the right splash of color to my native. Spike! What are you doing?
Nothing.
Is there something wrong with your face?
It's a stone scale. It isn't magical or anything like the Call of the Dragon Lord. It's just red and itchy and embarrassing.
Ooh, precious pants. That does look uncomfortable. But even I get the
looks like whenever you
from
get
time to time. It's nothing to be embarrassed by.
it looks like whenever you get a skin tag, you know, you have a mole that begins to come off.
She makes a cream that
And
works
it's sore as
wonders.
heck.
Just don't get the shampoo.
The Phoenixes!
But I don't see Pee-wee.
We haven't seen
Maybe he
them
moved
since
out.
in
Every pony has to leave
forever.
the nest at some point.
There he is! Oh! He's really majestic. Wow, he's grown.
Ouch.
Beautiful.
Perhaps you should pay Zecora a visit sooner rather than later.
Yeah!
I don't want any pony else to see this. Besides, I'm sure it'll clear up after a good night's sleep.
That face of Rarity makes.
I can't believe you're still asleep.
Just 5 more minutes.
Oh no.
It's nearly noon and you promised to help me with my lecture for class today.
Noon? Whoa! I slept like a rock. Which reminds me, all that sleep probably cleared up my stone scale.
On second thought, you can go back to sleep if you want.
That face. Oh boy! Oh, he's hit puberty. I get it. He's hit puberty. That's like the dragon equivalent of puberty, isn't it? He has acne now. Only it's called Rockney. I don't know. I love. Okay, first off, it's great seeing the Phoenix again. I mean, we haven't seen him since he was just a little bitty feathery ball. It's great to see him again. And wow, he's so majestic.
Spike, what are you doing?
Hiding from my hideous face.
I'm sure it feels terrible, but it's just a breakout. It's not the end of the world.
That's easy for you to say. Your face isn't covered in itchy red spots.
I used to get terrible breakouts anytime I had a final exam with Celestia.
Really?
Who probably never had a blemish her whole life.
I'm not in magic school.
No, but these things can be stress-related.
I love that.
And you did spend yesterday with Rarity.
What could possibly be stressful about that?
You could try Zecora. She makes a cream that
Works wonders, I've heard. But I'm not leaving the castle until my face is back to its adorable self.
Fine, but you're still gonna help me practice my lecture. Ahem. The element of generosity and its importance in relation to the other elements of harmony. My lecture.
Oh no!
I don't know what happened. I just had a sudden case of... sorry.
That looks like a vintage fire extinguisher. Honestly, the color that it looked like something from the Dwemer from Skyrim, the metal.
Maybe you should leave
It
the
like
castle
a
after
ancient
all.
Dwemer
And go
fire
somewhere
extinguisher.
less Flammable?
Huh. Hey there.
I love the sound effect of the waterfall. Rarity. Oh boy.
My, what a fetching ensemble you put together. Very noir-esque.
Noir. Yes.
Herself would approve.
Thanks.
But I wonder if you wouldn't mind taking it off.
What? Oh, What?
I wonder if you wouldn't mind taking it
Sorry,
off.
you'll have to speak up. My ears are a little bit clogged or something. It's just that I absolutely must have a model for my phoenix feather dress, and no pony else is available.
Sorry, Rarity, but I am super busy all day giving tours of the school.
Really? I thought I was giving tours today. Guess not.
Classrooms are that way. Dorms are that way. Twilight's office is up there. This is a fountain.
Could you slow down a bit? We've come a long way to see the school, and I don't want to miss anything.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Is something wrong?
What? Why? No!
Do all the dragons at this school suffer from scale issues?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. Did you say fireworks show?
I said, I don't know! This is a school library! It's one of the most serene spots on campus where students can spend time in quiet reflection or study. What?
Could you please stop shouting? We're trying to do our homework, and it's kind of distracting.
Was I shouting?
All right, you kind of...
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh no! Oh! Now you're purple. She knows. She knows. Get the fire extinguisher.
If you're trying to hide, you need to do a better job. All I had to do was follow the smoke.
Leave me alone.
What?
Leave me alone.
I can't Was that sleeves made of foam?
I said, leave me alone.
Hey! Well, there goes the mops.
Wow! I have seen some pretty bad molts in my time, but yours takes the cake.
Molts?
The molt, super painful stone scales, fire burps, uncontrollable volume shifts. It's all part of growing up dragon. Congrats.
Puberty. Puberty.
Oh, sorry.
You're going through puberty, dude! Congratulations!
No. The last time I grew up, I turned into a giant greedy monster.
Greed-induced bigness. That's totally different. The molt is completely normal. Every dragon goes through it. Pretty soon you'll leave and strike out on your own.
Do that.
Have you been living with ponies your whole life?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Well, in the Dragonlands, a molter's loved ones kicks them out at the first stone scale.
What? Why?
I think it's biological. We call it the molt effect. I haven't even told you about the smell.
Smell? Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, I love my brother and all, but one whiff and I was all, see ya! Speaking of which...
Wait! Does the molt effect happen to ponies too?
No.
Twilight already asked me to leave the castle today.
Oh my
She
god.
kicks me out. Where am I gonna live? I'm too young to grow up.
I'm sure you'll find a nice hoard of gems to guard or a village to terrorize. Oh, now that dragons and ponies are friends, I guess that's off the table.
So, no creature's gonna want to be around me?
Oh, I didn't say that. That mold stench is a magnet for predators. Tatzelworms, hydras, rocks.
Dragons are scared of rocks?
R-O-C-S. Rocks. Humongous birds of prey that can snack on a molting dragon like candy.
So, Twilight's kicking me out, and the only creatures who don't find me disgusting want to eat me?
Seriously, I heard none of that.
Twilight's kicking me out, and the only creatures who don't find me disgusting want to eat me?
Congrats!
Yeah.
Hey! Is that the shouting closet?
They're totally nothing is going on in this closet.
Shouting!
Amongst students.
Also, where's that Brussels sprouts covered in cotton candy smell coming from? Because it is really interesting.
So
I
Spike
don't know
on.
where else to go. I can't take the chance that Twilight will kick me out. You aren't feeling any mold effects, are you?
When it comes to breakouts, I've seen all circumstances. But as for the mold smell, let's not take any chances.
Is there anything you can do to cure me?
The
No.
ailments you have aren't something to cure. The mold's a condition that dragons endure.
But if any pony sees or smells me right now, they'll be so grossed out, they'll avoid me forever.
Perhaps we can lessen this strange mold effect. The smell is the most likely cause, I suspect.
It's all so embarrassing.
I know you are speaking, but I can't hear a thing. Are you talking about teaching asparagus to sing?
I said it's embarrassing!
If the goal is to not have your friends all depart, perhaps your volume is where we should start.
Oh no.
Watch out!
Decora! Hello?
Rarity.
Are you there?
What are?
I can't let Rarity see me like this! Please don't let her know I'm here!
Ooh, I love that art.
Oh dear! I'm talking even louder than I thought, aren't I?
I have volume concerns today by the scores, but it seems that I'm ready to help you with yours.
I'm sorry? I can't seem to hear anything. I was hoping you could help. I have no idea what happened.
What the chorus looks like? I'm getting fed up with this shit.
Onto a dress, and the next I couldn't hear my own voice.
Ah, the feathers of that bird can affect ponies' ears.
Really?
It's a magic ailment I've treated for years.
I only know you're talking because your mouth is going up and down. Oh, goodness. I hope that incredibly pungent odor belongs to some sort of magical curative. I hope you are not busy, but I must have my hearing back. It turns out that I talk to myself while I sew, and without that conversation, I simply can't think.
It's a simple cure, and the directions are clear. Just 1 or 2 drops in each of your ears.
Oh, thank you. You're an ear saver. Oh, and while I am here, do you have any blemish cream? Spike is having some scale issues.
You have no idea!
Oh, I think I heard something. Your cure is working already.
The cream that you want is just over here. It's a popular potion for all creatures this year.
Oh, thank you, Zakora. I don't mean to be rude, but I do think your hut could use an airing out.
Rarity's gone. There's no need to hide. Though I wonder if we should continue outside. Can't treat your symptoms down there on the ground. It's safe to come out. There's no ponies around.
I'm not hiding from ponies. I'm hiding from that!
Whoa! Dang, that's a big
Did
bird.
mention the mold smell attracts predators?
That's something that would have been quite nice to know, but it's not worth discussing right now. We should go.
I'm waiting for Sakura to break her rhyming. Just say, hurry up and run!
I'll lead it away while you get help. This way, Birdie Bird. Molting dragon over here. Okay, maybe this wasn't a good plan.
You can't hide in a tree. You have to come down. We stand a much better chance on the ground.
Oh no!
Cora! Bring her back!
He's glowing. Anger, I'm assuming.
Oh, Spike, what are you doing here?
Rarity, you have to get out of here. There's a giant rock trying to eat me. It's got Sakura.
Yes. What? Yeah, I was just at Sakura's, but I'm heading back. I can't read these instructions. Does this say 2 drops once a day or 1 drop twice a day?
Rarity, there's no time. We have to get help.
Yes, my ears are completely clogged. Why, Spike, your still scales look worse. Oh,
Really?
I picked up just the thing.
Oh, I wish you'd escaped either claw of this bird, but the both of us trapped in the same one's absurd.
What?
Let my ponies go. Whoa.
Twilight?
What are you doing?
What are you doing here?
If my stone scales didn't itch so much, and we weren't in immediate danger, this would be really embarrassing.
Danger?
Crap!
Well, I was headed to Sakura's to get some cream for your scales. I had no idea you were...
About to be eaten by a giant predator attracted to my molt smell?
Molt smell? Was that Rarity?
Yep.
And Sakura. I tried to save them, but it's all I can do to stop scratching long enough to dive out of the way when that bird attacks.
Twilight, you can't.
This isn't the first time I've been in the clutches of a horrible giant creature, but it doesn't get any easier!
Huh?
Ah, finally. I didn't think that itching would ever stop.
What the?
What's happening? I can't move.
It's like a butterfly effect. From a caterpillar to a butterfly. You're going to come out looking new. And Phantom is going to flip its crap. Oh! Oh, you got wings!
What just happened?
You got wings, dude!
Wings? I just sprouted wings!
Next will be a horn and you'll be an alicorn. Oh dear. Can you
Help them.
try him?
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Do you want to take some getting? Oh my gosh, he's got wings!
Oh!
Now you know how Twilight felt. Twilight's gonna flip crap whatever she sees.
Mike, how did you get wings?
Celestia. Same as you, Celestia.
Do you think you can fly up and distract him while I work on freeing Sakura and Rarity?
Dang. Dang, he's taking those pretty fast. How are you flying backward?
Dragging so much. Come and get me!
How are you flying backward? That'll work.
Greetings.
Dang! Roast chicken.
I know that the Molt produced surprising
Charcoal.
wings, but I'm glad that the last was a new pair of wings.
Yes, and also I'm glad you've got wings! This is amazing. I didn't know if you'd ever get wings. I'm so happy for you. Does it have something to do with this molt you were talking about?
Huh. It's what's been going on with me. The breakout, the fire burps. The molt is when dragons get older and start to change. I wish I could stop it, but I can't. I should go.
Go? What are you talking about?
In the Dragonlands, families make molters leave home. It's called the Molt effect.
Well, this isn't the Dragonlands, and molt effect or no, I don't want you going anywhere.
But I'm growing up. What if something even worse happens?
You're supposed to grow up, but you'll always be you. And whatever happens, we'll get through it together.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah! Look at me! Let's go home!
Oh dear.
I don't need to carry you anymore, do I? You have wings.
They are new, and I don't want to overdo it.
I can't believe you thought any of us would send you away because of some silly molt
Oh,
effect.
nice.
Even if the symptoms were slightly unsettling, and let's face it, the odor wasn't pleasant. No pony would stop caring for you just because you were getting older. Every pony goes through changes. Sometimes change can be wonderful. Like being able to model for any length of dress. A bit higher, darling, please.
I'm glad to help, Rarity. But don't you think there's wonderful things about flying that don't involve dresses?
Of course, darling. Flying will also be beneficial for you to help me with gowns, frocks, robes, shifts, skirts, minis, manties.
Dang. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. Really enjoyed this episode. I can't say it wasn't, you know, it's not my most favorite of Season 8. But, yeah, I really did enjoy this episode. And it was very interesting to see Spike actually, to see the actual development with this character. I mean, to see him actually growing up. That's very, very, very interesting. And this is very, very interesting because basically Spike was going through puberty, and like a lot of the different things that was happening with him, you could say was like puberty, the breakouts, which is acne, the changes in the voice tone, which is pretty much for a guy, the voice changing, voice cracks, and whatnot. So here he was dealing with that, and he was afraid for others to see him until everything was over with. And then the interesting change, though, the interesting change is how that, now again, they called it the molt. I thought like molting, I thought Twilight was gonna like begin, like something was happening. She was going to lose some feathers. Hurry. She was going to lose some feathers on her wings or something. It wasn't that. It was Spike. Spike was going through puberty. His character was, he was growing, maturing, which was very, very interesting to see that. And that was developing with his character. And so Spike was afraid. He didn't want others to see him until everything was over with and until everything was said and done. And so basically Spike was, he found out from that other dragon, I forgot her name, that whenever the dragons begin, whenever they begin to molt, whenever they basically begin to go through puberty in the Dragonlands, the other elder dragons kick them out, send them out on their own. But an interesting change, of course, is that, Spike lives with Twilight, and it's not the Dragonlands, it's Ponyville. And so Twilight isn't going to kick him out, so he still has a home, he still has a home to stay in. And an interesting thing, of course, Spike, this did show, I mean, this did show some maturity with his character, of course. I mean, besides the physical development, you know, he got wings. I thought it was honestly going to show him now with those, like, with the scaly look on his forehead and face and whatnot. I honestly thought it was going to show that. And like I said, I was expecting there to be, like, a big change with his character. And I was imagining some of the fandom would be flipping their crap over it. I remember seeing artwork before. Now, this episode honestly takes me back. I remember there was a comic that I saw once before. I don't remember the artist. And this has been, heck, probably 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. I remember seeing a comic where Spike was a fully grown dragon. And Twilight was sitting with him, like, on a hill, and I think they were just talking, and, like, it was, like, Spike had to strike out on his own, and they were saying, like, see you later, or goodbye, or something, and it showed Spike flying off. That was one comic that I remember seeing, like that, and I've also seen other artwork of Spike, where he's a dragon, like him outliving all the other ponies. And, of course, in Twilight Equestria, where dragons have a longer time span, a longer lifeline, the little pit ran into Spike. And, you know, 200 years after the bombs fell. And so, but I've seen artwork. I remember seeing comics and art that showed Spike with wings, showed him being a full-grown dragon or a teenage dragon, and I didn't actually, never really knew if that was actually going to happen in an episode. So to actually see Spike with wings, it's very interesting, and I think it does show development with his character. You know, I mean, it's showing that growth and progression with his character, because we have seen that development over time. We've seen it with the CMCs, and now we're seeing it with Spike. With the CMCs, it transitioned from the characters heavily focusing on trying to get their cutie marks to not really focusing on it as much, to them. We saw we saw development with them. We've seen them get a little bit taller. We've seen them mature mentally and emotionally. We've heard, we've heard like a change. We've heard a change in their voices, not just in how they speak, but in how that they sing, and then they got their cutie marks. And so with Spike, we've seen him be, we've seen him in earlier episodes. He was more of the little brother, like the baby brother in a way. And now he's matured more over the past 8 years. He's matured, and there have been moments, of course, where he has shown maturity. Now we actually see him, he's hit dragon puberty, and now he has wings, and so now he's going to be able to fly. And I'm really curious as to how they're going to incorporate this into future episodes with what remains of the show. If will there be another moment where Spike is going to be able to help Twilight in battle with something, and he's able to fly? Or it'd be cool to actually see a scene where Twilight might be in danger, and Spike is actually the one who helps her. That would be cool. Not really sure how that's going to work. But again, this was quite the interesting episode. And at first, honestly, whenever Spike was showing that, I thought it was, maybe like a skin tag or something, like a mole is coming off, and that's the dragon equivalent. But basically, Spike was just going through puberty, and he was afraid for everybody to see him. And so, but again, I gotta say, story-wise, I really did. I did enjoy this episode, and the outcome was really cool to be able to see Spike with actual wings. And they really look good on him, I have to say. They are really good. They are really good with their proportions. They're not too big. They're not too small. They do look good on him. And it's interesting to be able to see Spike with wings now, and to be able to see him be able to use them in the way that he was. Like, he took to them rather quickly, and was able to actually help Twilight to save Rarity and Zecora. But Spike is now finished through that. But an interesting thing, of course, Spike said that about, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, and Twilight told him, you know what, it doesn't matter, we'll get through it together, because we're family, we're friends. And it kind of makes me wonder what will happen in the future. Will there be an episode where Spike where he is older and he does go out on his own? I don't know. It would be a very interesting and quite a deep episode if they did something like that, where it shows Spike actually older, a little taller, and like from this point on they begin to show him gradually getting taller, and then at one point, maybe during season 9 or something, it shows him actually feeling like going off on his own to explore the world. And it would be deep if they did that, but also at the same time it would be very sad if they did that. I mean, it would be, I know, relatable, but I don't, in some ways it'd be cool if they did an episode like that, but in also some ways I don't want them to, because it would just be too sad. But again, I'm sure now that we've seen this, that we may see something like that, maybe with fan art and fan fiction, possibly. But again, I honestly had no idea if Spike was actually going to get wings or not, because we've seen plenty of other dragons with wings. So, you know, I wondered if Spike was actually ever going to get his wings. But now I'm wondering, now that Spike has wings, how Ember is going to what she's going to think, what she is going to think about that. You know, when are we going to see that moment whenever Ember sees Spike with his wings? And I can imagine she might end up maybe challenging him to a race or something, possibly, or even the other dragon back at the school, maybe challenging Spike. But again, this was a good episode. It was a good episode. The message, of course, is change. You know, everybody grows up. And honestly, I can totally understand Spike not wanting the change. You know, he doesn't want to he's afraid of what will happen whenever he does get older. And yeah, I mean, a lot of us can look back to whenever we were younger and we were completely oblivious. We were completely blissful. We were completely oblivious to the world outside. And then everybody at some point, they get out in that world. And it's something that we all have to do. And if you think back to it, some of it you can honestly say it would be scary to think about as a child. But like with what Twilight said here, with what Spike said and Twilight and Rarity also, change, it's pretty much inevitable. Like, that's going to happen. I mean, we're all getting older, and day after day, and that's not something that we can't stop time. It's just something that we have to accept. We have to accept our fate and just roll with it, and just make the best of the time that we've got. And yeah, it can be scary because you don't know what's going to happen, because, you know, your future is uncertain. You don't know what's going to happen. It makes you feel better. It makes you feel, you know, better if you think that you might have some control over it, but you're not really sure. But again, like Rarity said, sometimes change is beautiful, and it can be good. And in regard to Spike, this is good because he finally has his wings, and he leveled up. He got a new perk. Yeah, this was a very much a relatable episode in regards to the changes of growing up and what happens whenever you go through puberty. And this also relates to, I think, adults as well, in regard to the changes that continue to evolve with an individual and how things progress day after day after day. and you're not certain, you're uncertain and afraid of what the future is going to bring. And so for me personally, my rule is just, try not to think about it. Just try not to think about it. Just focus on one day at a time. And try to make the best of the time that you've got. And it was also warm-hearted because Twilight is like that, is like the big sister. She's the family, she's the friend that knows about what you have went through, and is and is willing to help you, and be there for you, and wants to, doesn't want you to go anywhere. They want you to stay because they care about you, and that was also really sweet. It was really, really sweet. But again, it was really interesting. Spike finally has wings. It's very interesting, and I'm very curious as to what they're going to do with that in the future. But there are some things I want to go over with this episode. First off, Petey, I think it was, the Phoenix. Like, my gosh, we haven't seen him since, we first saw him before with the little bitty ball of feathers. And we finally get to see him, and man, he's grown. I mean, he's grown up so much. And also, this was kind of, now that I think about it, this was very interesting foreshadowing, because it showed it showed this little Phoenix having grown up like he did. And so that was a really good future reference to Spike, if you think about it. But again, wow, he's just so majestic now, and it makes me think about Celestia's Phoenix. Can you imagine, like, it would be cool if Twilight decided to make this Phoenix, like she decided to take this Phoenix in as a pet, kind of like Celestia did. That actually would be cool. But again, it's great to see him again. He looks really, really great. And Twilight wants help with her lecture. Oh my gosh, I love this scene. I love this scene here with Twilight. This is probably one of my most favorite scenes in the whole episode, right here. Just the way that she's just standing there still, as all this chaos is erupting behind her, the fire, she can feel the heat, she can see the flames blowing past her, and she's just standing there with her pupils shrunk. She's just unmoving, afraid of the chaos behind her. I mean, it's just, everything erupts around her. And it's funny, honestly, how as the scene progresses, you can see her eyes get wider. It's a moment of realization of, oh, I love this scene. It's like you're afraid to turn around. It's kind of like whenever you're walking, or like you hear a big crash behind you, and you're afraid to turn around, afraid of just the mess. I honestly love this scene. It's so freaking good. I love this particular scene with Twilight. And like I said, Twilight pulls out a fire extinguisher. I didn't know if they had fire extinguishers. I did not know if they had fire extinguishers, because whenever the stage caught fire, instead of using a fire extinguisher, Applejack just went and grabbed a bucket of water. And so I didn't know if they actually had fire extinguishers, but here Twilight is using a fire extinguisher. And if you look at the fire extinguisher, it's brass. It's like a brass fire extinguisher. It's like a vintage style fire extinguisher. It's not designed like a modern fire extinguisher with a handle, with the standard handle. It's not red. It has like a brass. It looks like a brass casing, with like maybe a tan label wrapped around it, and it's got the old brass top. This honestly looks like an old brass fire extinguisher. And honestly, whenever I saw it, I thought of the Dwemer from Skyrim. I thought this is like an ancient Dwemer fire extinguisher. I really did think that. Like, an interesting crossover, and interesting theory. The Dwemer existed in the MLP universe. An interesting thought on that. But again, I honestly thought this was like a Dwemer fire extinguisher. But yeah, interesting to see that. And this character here with the ponytail, she's cute. I love her design. She's cute. She's adorable. Again, I have to say, 2 students in a closet, and then here comes Pinky, like with that face. What y'all doing? totally nothing is going on. Totally nothing is going on. And again, I gotta say, I love this look for Zecora's hut. Just the outside exterior look. And I love the soft glow that is emanating from the actual lights from the windows. I love the soft glow and how things are brighter around, pardon me, in this area, and it gets dimmer as it extends outward. Very, very nice touch. And I couldn't help it because I have a wicked imagination. Rarity not being able to hear anything, Spike being the dragon. My first thought was I couldn't help it. That was the thought that went through my mind was Rarity banged Spike and now she Rarity banged Spike and now she contracted something. Thought about that. It'd be kind of hilarious. I can imagine a fic or like an art piece or maybe a short comic where Zecora turns around and says, "Did you bang Spike?" That would kind of be comical. I can't imagine someone doing that. But we see this one bird, which it looks like an eagle or like a falcon. It looks like an eagle, but that's supposed to be a rock. R-O-C, just that. Okay. And I gotta say, the detailing for the inside of the claws, the talons of the bird is really nice. I mean, it's not just one smooth texture. I mean, they actually put like the rigid texture on the inside of the talons, which is really nice. I mean, it's a very tiny detail, but yeah, it really looks good. And again, Twilight also made some adorable faces here. But I love that confused expression that she has here. And then whenever she finds out Rarity and Zecora are trapped, that look, I mean, for me personally, analyzing her expression, there's a few different things that she's thinking about. The first is, oh crap. The second is concern for her friends. And the third is analyzing and processing a plan in her head to rescue them. And then she turns to Chuck Norris Twilight, and she begins to chase after the bird and fire her lasers at the bird. And yeah, like Twilight goes total. I mean, she's just totally blasting this thing, and it's really cool that like Twilight is able to use. I love how that Twilight is able to use her horn as a weapon of as like a weapon of defense and offense now. Like it's not just for magic. Now she's actually able to use it and fire magic blasts or magic bursts at things like that, which we did see her do it before. I know with Tyrek, but we haven't seen very many chances since then where she's actually, if any, where she actually has been able to do that. And then like, I wondered how Twilight was going to think about Spike having wings, also, and very interesting. See that, and immediately they're like, "Let's work together. Let's make some KFC." And I'm just curious about something. Spike here, he pounded his chest to make himself burp flames, and I was just kind of curious if that's going to be a thing that Spike will be able to control. If he'll be able to like breathe fire on a whim, just controllable, or if it'll have to be prompted. I'm kind of thinking that as it progresses, that he will be able to breathe fire on on choice, by choice. Not really, and he'll be able to do it, hopefully without burning anything, unless he chooses to. Again, the bird in the background. KFC, everybody, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Oh, okay, it's EFC, Equestria Fried Chicken, and I couldn't help it. This robe. This dress that Spike is wearing, the logo, the Phoenix here, I don't know why, but that made me think about the logo. Was it the Mythic Dawn? What was it? The Mythic Dawn in Dawnstar in Skyrim? That just kind of made me think about that. Like, it kind of looks like that to me. Like the Mythic Dawn in Dawnstar. That it honestly looks similar to that to me. But that's, but that's me. But again, I did enjoy this episode. It was a fun episode. It was also cute. And again, very interesting progression with Spike now having wings. We'll just have to wait and see how that's going to be used in the future. I'm kind of wondering now if maybe whenever the next bad guy arises, if maybe Spike is going to be able, if Spike is going to be the hero. I don't know. Or now what is going to happen whenever he goes back to the Crystal Empire? He has wings now. Like, are they going to make a new statue of him with wings, or what? Like, what's going to happen? Like, he has wings now. He upgraded. I'm just wondering how everybody else is going to, like, we're going to see these reactions. Ooh, now he'll be able to babysit Flurry Heart. Now Twilight is going to be able to put Flurry Heart off on him and be like, see ya, and just take off and leave Spike babysitting Flurry Heart. Oh, yes, babysit the Pound and Pumpkin Cake too. Pinky can also do that. Let him babysit Pound and Pumpkin Cake. Yeah. But again, I'm really curious as to what we're going to see in the next episodes. Like in the coming episodes, now that Spike has wings. I'm kind of curious as to what some people think about with Spike having wings now. I know some people are probably going to be against it, obviously. But I know some people are going to think it's cool as well. Personally, I think it's cool. It's more natural because, dragons have wings. So for him to now have wings, it's cool. And so, yeah. But again, I did enjoy this episode. And so, again, thank you to everybody that worked on this episode. Thank you to everybody. Thank you again to everybody watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. And hopefully I will see you guys in the next video that I do. Take care.